Hello, and welcome to Experience Fulton, the podcast. I'm Regina Waller, Division Manager, Communications and External Affairs for Fulton County. This podcast will not only provide you with information regarding the services and products that Fulton County has to offer, but we'll give you a close-up look into the department and the people who bring you those services. You ever wonder what it's like to be celebrated and to have gratitude for where you work? Well, the 4,000 plus employees here in Fulton County understand that fully. You know why? Because Public Service Recognition Week is May 3rd through the 9th. In fact, it is a time that HR directors as well as leadership discuss employee engagement, retention, and the value of public service. It's a time to celebrate those who hit the ground and get the work done every day. You know why? Because it is a big deal. Fulton County employees are a big deal. And here to talk to us more about Public Service Recognition Week is the Director of Human Resources Management, Mr. Ken Hermon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Regina.
Okay, so we're celebrating.
I wish it was Public Service Recognition Year. But our team members do such a Herculean task doing their day-to-day responsibilities to keeping the 1.1 million citizens of Fulton County engaged and as satisfied as they can be, providing the highest level of customer service whenever they come to the county facilities, whether it's for voting, whether it's to get their tags, whether it's to get their vital records. That team keeps that motor running to make sure the county is always delivering the highest service.
So you talk about all of the things that the county does, but why is it so important to have a specific week dedicated to public servants like us, and why is what is the goal for Fulton County in this celebration?
Right. It's very important to have this 1 week a year as designated by the federal government. Also recognizes public service during this week. And it's a small token of appreciation. Most public servants go unrecognized, unseen, and in some instances, belittled in the grand scheme of things when you're on the outside. That public servants don't get the just recognition that they deserve. But this is the week where us as employers and hopefully the citizens of Fulton County, as they come into the county facilities, can take that one time that you're interacting with us to say, thank you very much for what you do. If we did not have our team of 4,200 individuals, you could not get the service that you came down here for to receive. So is that one 7-day period every year that we have the ability to say thank you, and then also showcase our public service citizens, our public servants to the citizens of the county.
So, we did kick off a little early. There was a message from the chairman along with a video. And you mentioned here just a few moments ago that, you wish that there could be a public service recognition year. But let's be honest, Mr. Hermon. Fulton County celebrates employees all the time. In fact, Human Resources Management is always thinking of ways to say thank you and to show gratitude for all the work that's being done, right?
Absolutely. While this is the specific nationally recognized week, we do a lot of different activities for the employees to, again, keep them engaged, understanding work-life balance, trying to make sure that we always portray to the workforce that we are the best public employer of choice. There's no need to look at the city of Atlanta. There's no need to look at the cab. They're good to work for, but they don't have anything on Fulton County. And we're working with the chairman and the county manager and all the board of commissioners and my other colleagues and department heads. That's the message that we're trying to promote this week specifically, even though we do things all year round, whether it's a spades tournament, whether it's an ugly sweater contest, whether it's a pop-up hot dog event or a pop-up ice cream event. These are the kind of things that we show appreciation during the course of the year.
Well, the chairman has always said, Chairman Rob Pitts has always said that Fulton County is a big deal, and that has kind of stuck. In fact, we all say that as well, that it's a big deal. But what is the one thing that you wish that the general public understood about the work that Fulton County employees do every single day?
Yeah, I think the big things that if we could bottle up in a very small blurb to the citizens is what we celebrated a few days ago, Focus Awards. you know, hearing those stories of employees going above and beyond their day-to-day responsibilities. I remember the story of the employee who provided medical assistance to someone
Right.
at the MARTA station. That's not her job in Fulton County. She just luckily happened to be trained as a medical provider to provide that type of assistance. We heard about those individuals in the police department that provided life-saving assistance to those individuals in the county facilities that they interacted with. If we could bottle that up and promote that as the message, as this is what your tax dollars truly goes to within Fulton County and how it benefits, you know, your family, the citizens, the kids, and the like, I think that'll be the win-win for the citizens to understand how much Fulton County contributes to their day-to-day lifestyle.
You know, we are on location here at the Fulton County Government Center that is right here in downtown Atlanta. And Mr. Hermon mentioned 4,200 employees, not just in this building, but throughout Fulton County. But in this building, you probably hear all of the sounds of people at work. Right. And, you know, and we talk about recognizing our employees and also putting things in place where we show the gratitude of not only to residents, but to employees, because I've got to point out that we are outside of the Assembly Hall where we keep art exhibits. And so, you know, so this is one of the things that we do here in Fulton County. We make sure that our workers walk into a place where the environment is enjoyable, not only visually, but, you know, to come here to work every day. And so how do you see Public Service Recognition Week shifting the culture from it being unseen workers to a culture of appreciation?
Yeah, I see, and that's the big thing. You know, how do we go from, you know, because we have a duty and responsibility we're the stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. So we don't want to appear to be wasteful in any which way, shape, or form when we're managing those very scarce resources. And we have to figure out how do we get the biggest bang for the buck, especially as it relates of trying to balance service delivery as well as employee engagement, satisfaction, compensation, and the like. And I think if I remember correctly in the chairman's message, he talked about close to about $200+ million of investment to employees over the last 10 years, whether it's a COLA, whether it's a retention bonus, whether it's educational incentive. But again, that's a testament to our investment to the employees and to the taxpayers. You know, the county always boasts, and hopefully I don't get this wrong, Finance, I apologize in advance, but we have kept our millage rate relatively flat during that same period that we're investing in our employees. So again, that goes to show how our finance team, our commissioners, the HR team, and all the other departments are able to leverage the resources, make significant impacts on the service delivery side, on the employee side, while, again, keeping the taxpayer dollar and the millage rate relatively flat and invested in the best way possible.
And you talk about investments into the employees. Let's not forget the parent initiative where that we're going to talk about a little bit later on this week. And then also we have the benefits for employees if they need wellness advice, if they, and even in this building we also have a gym. Right. Where employees are, can go in and get a workout in, because it's not just about, getting the work done every day, but making sure that the mind and the body are also, okay. And as I mentioned, we're here in the government center. The work is not going to stop. So that's what you hear in the background. And that's fine, because these employees, they need to be recognized, for what they do. It is, the work is nonstop. So when we talk about recognition, can you tell us what type of recognitions have you found to be the most effective for this specific workforce?
Right. Everybody likes to be recognized differently. And we always encourage our managers to, first of all, get to know your employee. I think the biggest recognition that you could build with an employee is relative to trust and having that one-on-one relationship with them. Not that you have to go out and hang out, but you know what's happening in their family life. You acknowledge that life happens outside of Fulton County. You give them challenging assignments and the like. So I think, to me, in my career and what I try to emulate within the HR department as to the best tool that I have to improve engagement and push employees forward is giving them some level of authority on a project, whether big or small, but they own that project and run that project fully and just come to me for some level of guidance when they hit a roadblock. But I think that's where we get the biggest incentive. Additionally, again, those low-cost incentives that hit big does not impact the county's operational budget whatsoever, but also means a big deal to the employees is if we could give them administrative time off for various activities. Like last year, the Board of Commissioners supported an initiative where, unfortunately, last year, Christmas fell on a Wednesday.
Yes.
Well, we don't want them to, we want these individuals to open their gifts on the 26th and 27th away from the county facilities. So the Board of Commissioners agreed to grant administrative leave for that Thursday and Friday. So again, resulting in a longer period of time with our employees being able to engage with their family members over the holiday season and the like. And I do believe when I was checking with my colleagues that we were the only county that did something like that during that awkward time where Christmas fell on a Wednesday. The COB and the CAB didn't do something, so that meant their employees had to go back into work on the 26th and the 27th. Well, we were home, taking advantage of the time off, but we came back re-energized to do the highest level of service to the citizens. So those are the kind of things that, in my opinion, drive engagement even more than actual compensation. Those engaging projects, building trust, and able to give them time off in lieu of vacation.
All right, Mr. Hermon, thank you so much for what you do for us and what you and your employees do. So proud of everything. You and your people make us look proud.
Thank you very much.
Now, May 3rd begins Public Service Recognition Week, and Team Fulton is essential to our service to 1.2 million residents. That's why we continue to invest in our employees. Since 2015, we've invested $117 million in recurring salary investments for employees, plus more than $104 million in one-time employee salary enhancements through performance and retention bonuses. We've also invested more than $4 million in building the skills of our workforce. And that's not all. We've also made policies to make Fulton County the public employer of choice. Now that's a big deal. That includes extended parental leave, which I'm very proud of, now paid for a full 12 weeks. Programs like the Certified Public Manager Program, which have benefited hundreds of employees and helped build leaders from within. And our wellness programs that help you and your family stay healthy. You are the heart of Fulton County, and we're proud to support you every day. Thank you for all you do in making Fulton County a big deal.
We're celebrating Public Service Recognition Week here in Fulton County. May 4th through the 10th, hashtag Team Fulton is being recognized for the dedicated, committed service that it provides not only to our internal clients, but to every resident here in Fulton County. If you want to learn more about this, just check us out on the website at www.fultoncountyga.gov. And thank you again for joining us for Experience Fulton, the podcast.